Welcome to Capital OTB's Daily Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com. This is the Wednesday, March 17th edition. I'm Seth Merrill. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, spread the word. Daily Report is a fairly new addition to the media that Capital OTB puts out every weekday. We'll kind of set you up on the racing day and maybe give you a couple ideas for the afternoon. If there's a play of the day that sticks out, we'll recap some big races. We'll preview some big races. About every weekday morning at 10 a.m. is when you can expect it to show up via social media of Capital OTB. So again, spread the word for the Daily Report podcast. Every day I like to start things out with a trivia question, and with the Louisiana Derby being the big race coming up this weekend, we'll do a tribute to Fairgrounds with our trivia question. Trivia question for today is, what is the year that the Fairgrounds first opened for racing? And I will note, I'm going with the year, the date that was on the Fairgrounds website, America's Best Racing website, their profile of Fairgrounds. They jive with the date. Wikipedia has a few decades earlier, although they go on to say in this year the first race card is held at Fairgrounds under the auspices of the Louisiana Jockey Club. So there is some agreement with this year. But again, the year I'm looking for is the year that's officially on the Fairgrounds website. And I'll give you a little leeway even. If you're 10 years within, before or after the date that Fairgrounds opened, according again to the Fairgrounds racetrack website, you can be 10 years either way. I'll give you credit for this one. We'll have the answer at the end of this edition, which again is taking a look at the action for Wednesday, March 17th. Let's get started.
Now Swiss Skydiver has room, pounces on her at the eighth pole, and is hand-ridden to a comfortable lead as she waves goodbye, completely outclassing the field. It's Swiss Skydiver strolling through the stretch under Robbie Alvarado to win the Beholder Mile, loaded by 3.5.
That was Swiss Skydiver, seasonal debut for last year's 3-year-old filly champion. She beat the boys in the Preakness. Great effort up here at Saratoga in the Alabama last year for Kenny McPeak. Traveled around 9 different racetracks in 10 races last year. And as I say, she wound up the season being the 3-year-old filly Eclipse winner. Debuted Saturday at Santa Anita, then Beholder Mile. You just heard it, a 101 buyer for the seasonal debut. Had Ken McPeak on with us on Racing Across America on Saturday morning. And he noted she had an incredible workout just a week earlier down at Gulfstream, 58 flat. Twitter had some raves about the workout. Ken said, I didn't really want that fast. We were looking for more like a minute, but another horse came up on the turn, and, she got into competitive mode, and so they wound up with the 58 workout, which, as I say, Ken was a little bit miffed, maybe a strong word, but he certainly said wasn't looking for that. But she was none the worse for wear. Cross-country trip to Santa Anita, that workout in the holster, and she winds up winning the seasonal debut very impressively. It's going to be fun to see where she goes now. And Monomoy Girl, Swiss Skydiver, just to get these horses back on the track with their talent and whatnot. Going to be fun to watch this filly and mare division this year, certainly. Also, last weekend Concert Tour took the Rebel down at Oaklawn, and I bring that up because last Friday's Daily Report, our trivia question was, how many editions of the Rebel had Bob Baffert won in the last 12 runnings? The answer was 7 editions. So 7 out of the last 12. He made it 8 for 13 on Saturday. That is an incredible record. And hopefully the trivia question maybe helped your handicapping a little bit and pointed you towards Concert Tour with the run that Bob Baffert is on in this Rebel Stakes. 8 for the last 13. Just incredible. And obviously it's not his home track. That would be a different story. It would still be incredible. But the fact that he ships across the country and does it, 8 out of the last 13. Concert Tour, now yet another really nice 3-year-old on the Derby Trail with legitimate credentials now on the resume for trainer Bob Baffert. Speaking of the 3-year-olds on the trail, do want to mention, as I did at the top of the show with our trivia question focused on the Fairgrounds, big weekend coming up down at the fairgrounds, really the highlight of their meet. And we will all be watching the Louisiana Derby.
Mandaloun has taken a short lead from a battling Midnight Bourbon. On the outside is a Proxy, then Obesos, Senor Buscador. They come past the 16th. It's Mandaloun. Mandaloun, Proxy and Midnight Bourbon with Florent Giroux. It's Mandaloun. And Mandaloun wins the Risen Star Stakes.
That was Mandaloun taking the Risen Star back on February 13th at Fairgrounds, and he's back on Saturday. PPs are already up. They pulled the race. They drew the race on Saturday. The PPs have been up since later on Saturday. You can get started now if you already haven't started looking at the Louisiana Derby and a great undercard of stakes races as well. Mandaloun obviously will draw the attention in the Louisiana Derby, but as you heard, Proxy ran second, Midnight Bourbon ran third. They are also back on Saturday in the Louisiana Derby. We'll talk more about it as the week goes along, but looking forward to that. Again, highlight as the fairgrounds meet really wraps up or winds down. They'll have another week after the Louisiana Derby, but this is the exclamation point for them. Really looking forward to the action on Saturday. As I say, we'll get more into it as the next couple of days progress. But on Wednesday, Capital OTB TV, and you can play at capitalotbbet.com. Plenty of action on Wednesday, and Wednesday is also one of the nights in the month of March that we are offering nighttime thoroughbred racing. So the tracks we'll be watching on the network on Wednesday, kicking off in the afternoon, Gulfstream, Tampa, Parks, Saratoga Harness, Sam Houston, Penn National. As we get later in the evening, Turfway, Charlestown, Yonkers. And just checking our weather on the day, really looks like Sam Houston is expecting some thunderstorms in the morning, but certainly by the time racing is underway, they're expecting things to have cleared up, but still with the morning showers, you maybe want to check track conditions at Sam Houston. Turfway, on the other hand, kicking off for their evening card. They're expecting showers to kick in at about 5 p.m., so you may want to check out the track conditions and whatnot, adjust your handicapping for Turfway when you look and see how things will go. Again, the other tracks that are scheduled, it's looking mostly sunny, maybe a little cloudy, but Sam Houston and Turfway are ones that you may have to double check on as far as weather on Wednesday. Carryovers, the notable probably Turf Paradise on Wednesday. Turf Paradise has a $49,000 carryover heading into their Pick 5 on Wednesday, so keep that in mind for Turf Paradise. I'll toss out a little play of the day at Tampa for Wednesday. We'll do a little late double. I was just going to focus on a horse in the eighth race. Eighth race at Tampa, 16,000 maiden claimers. Smoking Class looks like the one to beat for me. It's Gerald Bennett, Sammy Camacho, a team that you had to watch throughout the meet. But they have a horse that I thought ran okay in the debut, ran fourth in a field of 8, but it was an okay debut effort. It was against better. Drops down the claiming ladder a little bit, adds some blinkers, had shown some early speed. I think will benefit from the debut. And as I say, I was just going to toss this out as a play. 5-2 on the morning line. As I look at the rest of the field and look at this one, I'm not sure we're going to get that 5-2. So that's certainly one to look at in your picks and whatnot. I think you can kind of lean there. But I thought maybe we'll do a late double just to try to find some value. So in the finale, the 9th race on Wednesday, I'm going to use the number 3, My Sister's Keeper. Mike Deeney, trainee, coming off a couple of decent efforts recently, should be the one to beat in here. So maybe some Smoking Class and some My Sister's Keeper as a late double. In that 9th race, I'll also toss out, I have a 3-4-2-1. My Sister's Keeper on top, and then in the second slot, Alexandra K, who I think coming down the claiming ladder could be a player. And at 20-1 on the morning line, I thought Passion's Image might be a little bit interesting. But popular at the claim box, gets back to try some turf after a bunch of dirt starts. And at a big price, maybe that's a one to kind of sneak into your double play there. But again, in the 8th race, I like number 1, Smoking Class. In the 9th race, I like the 3. But the 4, the 2, maybe even the 1, if you look up and odds are right, maybe you can toss them into your double mix as well. At Tampa, in the 8th and the 9th race on Wednesday afternoon. Let me hit you with some of the promos coming up at Capital OTB. Wednesday, there is a trifecta challenge at the Clubhouse Racebook. If you're in the Albany area, we would love to have you swing on by. That's 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Thursday, there'll be a $300 online bankroll. Check out the website for more information on how you can sign up to play along and potentially get picked for that Thursday bankroll team. Friday, the Bounty Bet comes back. That's always a lot of fun, but more importantly, Friday kicks off a couple of days of NCAA action. Nothing better than this time of year. Some horse racing, some hoops, and we will have the Hoop Shoot promotion Friday and Saturday at the Clubhouse Racebook. You put your name on some squares. If you match up halftime or final scores on some of the games, you get to shoot the hoops for some prizes and some fun, certainly, Friday and Saturday. Saturday, there's also a $100 knockout challenge online. Sunday, there's a play the board contest and a match bets promotion at the Clubhouse Racebook. So there is plenty of fun coming up this week at the Racebook online and more. You can always check out the website for more information as far as that is concerned. CapitalOTB.com. And now, answer to the trivia question we tossed out at the start of the show, again, in honor of the big weekend coming up at the fairgrounds, a fairgrounds-related question. When did racing start at the fairgrounds? And as I say, a little bit of a different date, a few decades earlier as far as Wikipedia is concerned, but I went with the date that's on the fairgrounds website itself, which Wikipedia also recognizes as the first year that the fairgrounds held races under the auspices of the Louisiana Jockey Club. So there is some agreement. And I said, I'll go 10 years either way, in either direction, then you can count it as a correct answer. First year for the fairgrounds, 1872. They have been around for quite a long time and doing a great job down there in New Orleans, and this weekend will be no exception with the Louisiana Derby and a great undercard of stakes races as well. Looking forward to it. All right, that takes you through some of the info setting up for the day on Wednesday, March 17th. This has been the Daily Report from Capital OTB, brought to you by Capital OTB Bet. I'm Seth Merrill. Thanks for having joined us. Again, spread the word. Tell people about the Daily Report. You can look for it weekday mornings at about 10 a.m. It'll be up fresh and new via the Capital OTB social media. Tune in again, and good luck.